Yo! Video games.
Hey, how'd you guys feel about all that?
Okay, so why the hell are we remaking 4 again? Okay, hold on. We are preserving everything that makes the game well loved by all of our fans while making it better. Okay, that meant we're gonna show you the opening shot, just as dreary as 2 and 3. Remove all the color from it, and spoopy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone clap.
I can't. Okay, I just don't understand why they thought we're gonna have a shot of Leon walking up, crawling under barbed wire, and walking up to a house is gonna be it. Like that's. You might as well not have even shown up. Like you could have just shown the trailer, the old trailer, and just been like, "Yeah, it's coming. Whatever. Talk to you later."
That's like literally a dude saying, "Hey, check out my tattoo," and it says like, "I huff propane." It's like, okay, that's great.
I don't know.
Couldn't have waited.
It's bizarre to me. It's also bizarre because the game is coming out in what, 9 months? It's 9 months
Roughly,
to release, and they have this very, very quick teaser. Teaser doesn't really show a whole lot. It's a lot of just zoomed in shots on cinematics. And I don't know. It's just like usually when something's 9 months from release, like you have, I don't know, like even a developer playing the game. You know what I mean? Like because I remember playing. I mean, E3 2004. We were playing a full-on demo of RE4. Granted, that came out in January, so it wasn't quite as far, but it's 2 months difference. But we were playing a full-on demo of the whole village area, everything leading up to the bell ringing. I don't know, different times or whatever, but yeah, it's. Well, I mean, hey, yeah, Reverse is happening. I mean, we can be happy about Reverse, right? Are we happy about
Gold
Reverse?
Edition.
What's reverse again?
Oh, that's that online team. It's that TDM mode for Resident. It's just Resident Evil TDM. That's all it really is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that thing. Yeah, I
5.
loved playing as Annette Birkin. That's the right one, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because you play as
Yeah.
a bunch of random people. They didn't even show more for that game, by the way. They literally just showed some really
they
like.
just okay. You guys know what it is. It's going to be included in the Gold Edition. We're sorry it didn't come out whenever the game initially came out. So, apologies. Here's a free upgrade.
Yeah. And it was funny because like they kind of like shifted. Like, yeah, that's also coming out in October. Please look forward to it. Like, like obviously, I think like Shadows of Rose was like the big thing here.
Definitely.
So, in the behind-the-scenes surveys, there was as many people asking for VR as there were a third-person mode in both Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village.
I was actually very happy about the third-person mode. I think that's actually pretty fun. I think that's pretty cool, actually.
It'll add a new perspective on the game, especially compared to the close-up FOV that you had in the default game of Resident Evil.
Yeah. That's actually very true. It's a good point because I'm like, yeah, like how does, I guess they're repeating it on Capcom's USA's browser. Whatever it is still.
And maybe it'll repeat at a steady frame rate.
No, it's not at all.
That's the way they rendered it, so that's that.
Okay, can we just get that out of the way right now? Why did Capcom think it was great to just push on with the event instead of fixing what was wrong?
They took pointers from Nintendo.
I wouldn't be surprised if they would just had that thing made by Bethesda.
Jesus.
Probably.
God.
The RE engine runs way smoother than anything Bethesda's ever shown, even Doom.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going to that, I understand how Creation Engine is. There's things about it that are very unique to that engine, like how you can just like sort of like dump a bunch of assets into the world. There's a lot of physics to it. The reason why, like the people are arguing, like why doesn't, like I was saying back when the news was leaking about Starfield's troubled development, I'm like, why are they fucking using Creation Engine? And I'm like, why not move on? Why not move on to id Tech 6? Like I can understand why they wouldn't do Unreal 4 Because Unreal 4...
You want to know the main reason?
Well, it's internal, I would assume, it being one of them.
The main reason is because Microsoft bought them.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they have id Tech 6
They were going
now.
to be using an id Tech 6.5.
Ah.
But Microsoft bought them, so they was like, hey, we need to impress, we need to show them something.
Okay, so it was kind of like, we need to have something, yeah, kind of like...
Right.
Well, yeah, and actually something like that actually did happen with... I mean, I know this just because I follow them so much, is with Monolith, is when they got bought by Nintendo, they made Disaster Day of Crisis as a way to sort of like prove their value to the company. It's funny because the game ended up getting delayed, and then it ended up not even coming out in North America, even though it was localized in North America. But the whole idea was like, okay, they're doing the Switch thing. We really need to like show that we're our value as you know, a developer that we just got bought. So they made this game that heavily used all these, you know, Wii remote features, you know, pointers and pointer shooting and waggling and this and that, all kinds of motion stuff, which is interesting.
Yeah, Day of Disaster was kind of a advertisement for the features of the Wii.
Yeah, and that's why they did it, which is interesting because like later on, I guess Iwata or someone was just like, well, you know, I kind of bought you because I don't have a JRPG franchise, like I don't have like a main one, and he's like, I want you to make me a JRPG, so that's why I bought you. So they're like, oh, okay. And then like, yeah, the Monado kind of got developed. It's not the reason they made Xenoblade, but Iwata was kind of like nudging them towards that after Disaster. It's like, I bought you because you make JRPGs. I want a JRPG franchise that we own. And then Iwata was, I think the biggest dick energy was basically saying like, no, we're going to call this a Xeno game because you guys made it. And it's funny because Iwata's he was not a pompous person, but it's kind of funny that to me it was always like, I'm basically taking this thing from both Square and Namco and saying, well, it's ours now.
Right.
So, I mean, that worked out, but yeah, like, I guess some people were arguing that the reason, Starfield uses game creation still is because of, like, the physics and sort of, like, the scale, like, not scalability, but, like, all the other stuff. And I don't know what id Tech 6 looks like for open world. I know Unreal's terrible for it, Unreal 4, and it's been, like, a big point of contention for Unreal 5, and they're getting software engineers from CD Projekt Red even on to come in and sort of like make Unreal 5 good for open world, because it's like it's one sort of Achilles heel is that open world is kind of bad on Unreal, because I guess the tech for streaming data in Unreal doesn't work super great. I guess
you have to have such high bandwidth on your storage, which is why the new gen consoles all have M.2 NVMe high-speed SSDs.
Yeah.
Because you get that stream loading in of assets to where you don't notice pop-in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the new Wolfenstein game that was discussed last year at what was it? PAX East?
It used to be PAX East or QuakeCon, one of those.
Yeah. It was in October, the beginning of the month, October of last year. They were talking about it's going to be an open world.
That's nice. I like that. I'm down with that idea.
But it's a battlefield zone type size where you could experience using mechs and different things. So they're trying to take from what they did with Youngbloods in the previous games.
Yeah.
And see what they can do. Which is, I'm guessing, why we didn't see anything from Machine Games during the Xbox event on Sunday is because they're going to show something tomorrow.
I mean, that'd be nice. I'd be super down with that.
There were 5 things that were removed from the show on Sunday because they just let Todd talk.
They just let Todd talk. God damn it. And Blizzard kind of got a big chunk of time too with that. Yeah, that was a long Diablo 4 reveal for Necromancer. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like Chris, you're a big Monster Hunter guy. Like did you see anything that got you excited with
Gormagala?
Gormagala.
as Keeters once put it to me, the AIDS monster, because it had mechanic where you actually had to aggro against it in order to remove the debuff. But just that inclusion there was enough to make me happy. The fact that we have a secondary biome is really cool too.
Well, how many biomes are they going with in Sunbreak now? Is it just one or is it two?
Well, here the two from what we've seen so far, because
Okay.
we have the new like European area, for lack of a better explanation.
Yeah, the castle or whatever I call it, I guess.
Yeah. And then now we're getting this jungle, which apparently is from a Monster Hunter that I have not played yet.
Well,
Or just one of the previous ones.
not a lot of people played 1 and 2. I played
Yeah.
1 at E3 back in 2003 or 4 or something. I don't remember.
I mean, it's
Actually,
rough
it's
going back to
testing
the
on
first
two.
one.
Yeah, so basically, and they're announcing we're getting an arena back. The endgame content or like post-launch content, from what we're seeing, if they're going to be trying to fill out the roster even more, it makes me curious as to what all we're actually getting, because if you remember, I mean, it might be different coming from Rise, but I know Worlds, when they did Iceborne, there were unannounced monsters thrown in there.
Yeah.
And we also, with Rise, they threw in Basil Geese and a couple other ones, weren't even told of it. They just dropped them in.
You know, I don't think
So-
that's necessarily a terrible thing to have, like, you know,
No,
just,
I want
just,
that.
just some, hey, you know what? There's going to be
Yes.
surprises here. You don't know what you're going to
Yes.
run into, so...
Don't tell us anything. I want to play Sunbreak and potentially be on a hunt, have a question mark, and while I'm in the middle of fighting monster, freaking Brachydios just comes in swinging.
Yeah.
Just blowing shit up.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to what wasn't announced. So, all in all, for Monster Hunter, I'm very happy for what I saw.
I mean, you don't have to wait long. It's coming out in a
that
month,
too.
and then tomorrow you're getting a jungle demo.
Oh, there's a sign-up page for Exoprimal.
Is
You
that
know what?
finally up?
Here's the thing. It's like I wouldn't say I was blown away by anything I saw in Exoprimal,
Here, I'll
but
put
it's
it in the general.
also one of those things where I'm like, yes, but this could be fun. I need to get my hands on it. It's something that, like, I don't know. It doesn't. When you're talking about stuff that involves like hordes of monsters and
It'll be up at 7:30.
and a lot of like I don't know, like just real-time combat in general, I really need to know what it feels like in, you know, with your hands. Like it's not going to be enough to show a stream or a pre-recorded video and put that on there, because it's like, here's the thing. You could look at God, what's like a really terrible character action game? Like Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden Z, right? If anyone remembers that.
Oh yeah.
Ninja Gaiden Sigma, which they just put on Game Pass?
No, Yaiba.
No,
Oh,
Yaiba was
no,
like
yeah,
a
but
cell-shaded side-scrolling one.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay, my
zombies.
bad, my bad.
I mean, I played that at E3 and whatever. So you could watch a video of that, and you could watch a video of, you know, Devil May Cry Bayonetta, and you might not really, you know, I don't understand how, like, one is much better than the other, but like someone be like, I don't get it. Like, he's doing a bunch of crazy, you know, air combos and flips and shit. Like, what is off about this? What doesn't feel good about this? And it's like, you got to get your hands on it, kind of thing. Like, you're not going to know if this works or not until you actually play it.
Right.
And that's why I'm a fan of actually having demos of that's why I like E3. That's why I used to like E3 and stuff, because it's like, that's why I think it's important. And it's funny because, like, as time has progressed on, and I've been going since 2001, as time has progressed on, companies have shown less and less and less, like, actual hands-on playable demos. A big reason for that is because of the time, right? It chews massively into development time to create a vertical slice that's not super buggy or weird or wonky, that's functional and isn't going to crash constantly or whatever, and put it on the show floor. Even when E3 was just for press only, like, they still, you know, had to take time out of development to, like, basically, like, finish up a slice of the game wholesale. So I kind of get that. But it is on the flip side of that, now things are more feels more like a gamble now, because games are $70 standard for next gen, you know, 60, 70, and it's like it starts to become this weird gamble now where it's like you look at Exoprimal and it's like, okay, this concept sounds cool, but what if it doesn't play very well? And that's what the network test is for, but it's a closed network test. And
it's also only on Steam.
Oh, is it? The network test.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
So, I've become more and more interested with it based when I break it down into a couple parts, because for one, it looks like they're doing like the whole 5v5 thing, which is team shooter shit. I get it. It's been the standard since 2015.
Yeah.
Maybe even less. But it also throws in some it throws in the whole Overwatch objective-based shit, but also kind of feels Gears of War-y in that you just got horde modes.
Yeah.
So I'm interested.
I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued and interested.
I guess I could say I'm intrigued by Exoprimal. I'm not blown away, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was describing it during the event as similar to World War Z with dinos instead of zombies.
I personally wish there was money in development put into just making a Dino Crisis, either a reboot or a remake. Yeah, personally, this, I don't know. It feels like another one of those we're chasing the sort of I got weird because first it looked like one thing and then it kind of looked like another, and it was first it looked like Warframe and then it started to look like Overwatch, with that escort the box thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, stop chasing the puck, get ahead of it. So the part of me was a little bit I'm very rarely ever a fan of a company that wants to do their version of specific thing, right? I need my hero shooter, I need my BR, I need my thing or whatever. I'm not saying don't do genres. I'm just saying when it's really specified, it's this is really popular, people like this. It's got this air of disgenuine a bit, where it's kind of you're making this because people make a lot of money on gas games, so now you want a gas game. And I don't really like that. I don't like it when stuff like that happens.
Is Nick Brawl and Multiverse's fault in that category as this is our smash?
Yeah, it is a little bit. But you know what makes Multiverses and now Nickelodeon work? They're fucking free. I don't have to pay for them. The other thing is Smash is done. The other thing is that Smash is its own thing, and it is not getting an update for a decade or something.
That was actually going to be my point. Their biggest competition is done, so the only thing they have to worry about is competition from other clones.
Yeah, but I mean, it does have the same vibe where it's just kind of hey, we're making, when it's Nick All-Star Brawl, I'm like, okay, it looks like a low-budget Smash. Am I excited for that? Not really. But it's interesting because I have weirdly more, I don't want to say nostalgia, but I enjoy seeing some of the characters in Nick right now more than WB, which I never thought I'd really say. I think that mostly boils down to just how really safe the Multiverses roster is right now. It's this, it has to be characters even your mom would know about, kind of thing. A lot of it, Nick All-Star's got some weird shit. There's an Real Monsters character, and I mean, Cat Dog's not old, but it's also not current in any way, shape, or form. It's okay, the 20-year-olds, of the era are really down with that, but it's not like Nick's done anything with that franchise. Where Rocco coming in, Rocco's Modern Life is awesome Rocco, but it's that's something that I would like to see on that level with Multiverses, because right now it's there's Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry, and I'm my fucking grandfather would know what that is, and he's dead. So... Yeah.
I'm waiting to see Flintstones come in or Jetsons and things like that.
Yeah, and go for me. It's always it's go much deeper than that for Multiverses. I want Space Ghost and
Oh, yeah.
You know, like Batman Forever. Or no,
I'll
sorry,
play Space Ghost in a heartbeat.
not Batman
if
Forever.
he's voiced.
Beyond. You know, God, Lord, strike me down. Some Hanna-Barbera shit. I watched so much Hanna-Barbera shit growing up, and I have no fucking love for it. It's weird. I'm like, Hanna-Barbera, this is a bunch of like really like cheap, crude animation.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, like, but like,
It kind of felt like knockoff Looney Tune characters.
well, I mean, there's good documentation on kind of like what it was, which basically was like, you know, them saying we can do weekly animated shows and we can do them cheaply and efficiently by reusing a whole lot of shit over and over again. Lots of Valkyrie Bat Nipples, absolutely. But yeah, that's that thing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't say there was like nothing. You know, they didn't show up with anything here because they did show up with a whole bunch of Exoprimal stuff, and they did actually go into detail of like what's going on with RE8 DLC, and those were all good announcements. It was a good showcase on that front. I don't know why they even bothered to talk about not Street Fighter, but like Resident Evil 4 at all. Like it feels like that was a wash. And the problem with RE4 being a wash here was like that was the thing people wanted to see the most.
Yeah. The biggest thing it seemed like they did is just they fleshed out the blog article by reading it on screen with commentary during showing a couple new shots of the game.
Yeah.
Do you think they did that because they know they did something like that for RE2, even though technically they didn't have any footage? They just did the whole step out with the shirt, we do it. You think they're just going to try and do something like that?
They shouldn't, because we do it was when they did that. That was when they basically just got the green light to make the game. Like nothing was done. Again, this game is out in 9 months. Like it's weird. It's weird that you're like, and it's not a brand new. It's not like, oh, here it's RE9 or something, and we don't really want to spoil the story. You know, we got some really cool stuff. It's RE8. It's a remake. Like everyone knows what. Like, you know, we're gonna catch you up on the story, bro. Everyone fucking knows the story to RE4. Like indigenous tribes in the Amazon that have no contact with the outside world know the story of RE4. Like that's a waste of time.
Well, what happens though?
Yeah,
hi.
exactly.
Welcome, Nico.
Oh. What'd you think?
Welcome to your seat at the console.
It was good. I was a solid 8. You know, it was mostly what we expected. It shows some pretty neat stuff. RE verse is apparently not dead. We are actually getting DLC, which is
Reverse was like it'll also be there. It was they were very just like
they were just like, here's a picture, by the way. Yeah, this
Here's
isn't
like
dead.
2
All right,
seconds
bye.
of a footage.
Oh, Versus. That's that thing that was on the 3DS game, right?
no.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
I got this weird feeling like nothing's really been done on that game. Like it's just gonna launch with like pretty much what you saw in the betas. I'm just like, whatever, it's here.
Just forgot
They
about
did some
it too.
bug patches, and that's about it. And then stabilized the network connections.
Yeah,
It's been ready. It's been sitting ready, just waiting on the Gold Edition.
Yeah, I kind of get this weird feeling like it's not really actually gonna. They did not spend a year adding stuff to it. Like it's gonna be mostly what you saw, maybe a little extra, and they're just gonna dump it out and be like, whatever, it's here.
They were legit like, all right, guys, are we forgetting anything at all? And they're like, wait, wasn't there like a multiplayer thing we were doing? And he's like, was there? Yeah. And he's looking through his like fucking papers. He's like, wait, hold on. And he's going back to his old streams, and he's like, oh fuck, that's right, that thing, that verse thing. Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, we probably should release that. Yeah, I guess we should. Yeah, it still plays like ass though, right? Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. Who gives a crap? Only Steve's gonna play it anyway.
People like Call of Duty. People like
Exactly.
that CS:GO stuff. It'll get played.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. Again, I think it really hinges on how much you were looking forward to expecting to see on RE4. I think if for some reason you thought you were going to get Dragon's Dogma info, you know, I'm actually genuinely upset for Dragon's Dogma fans for them to literally be like, here's Dragon's Dogma. It exists. We did all this cool stuff. We're going to have a retrospective video.
It's hard to keep up.
That
with
was
it.
a serious
Bye.
loophole they did.
Because they didn't even hint or even tease that, like, in the future we'll have more. Now they didn't even say, like, we'll have more to talk about of Dragon's Dogma in the future. It's like, I will please look forward to, like, what comes next for the franchise. Like, it was literally just like, I'm Mitsuno. I made Dragon's Dogma. It got an anime.
Check out this docu-series we did later. Okay, bye.
Like,
it's like, why
we
did
made an anime? We're trying to be Castlevania. It's not.
yeah,
you know that every single Dragon's Dogma fan was sitting there like thinking like, I know they said they weren't going to show anything new, but they just say surprised at the start, and then they see Dragon's Dogma, and every one of them, their asses clenched, and they're like, oh fuck, they're like losing their mind or something, and then like he's like, all right, well let's celebrate 10 years. Let me tell you how this game got made, and then there's a cool documentary happening later. All right, see ya. Now on to Resident Evil. It's like, what? Like, it is, you do feel kind of bad for them. Like, I don't know dick about Dragon's Dogma. I have like no,
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is, honestly. So like, I barely know anything about it. So I didn't really care, but I did kind of feel like, dude, for people who are huge fans of that series, that probably fucking sucked.
Dragon's Dogma is basically Capcom's version of Eurojank RPG mixed with Devil May Cry type of talent tree.
Yep. More or less, yeah.
Really? It's got Devil May Cry like
Well,
action?
It is the Devil May Cry 3, 4, 5 director.
It's got a little bit of Shadow of the
Like a
Colossus
talent
too.
tree
You could
type
jump
of,
on the big
moves
enemies and
expansion.
climb on them and attack them and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Huh. That's cool. I actually thought it was like I always took it as like Capcom Skyrim, basically.
It is open
Little
world,
bit.
but no, it's large zone. There's a lot of quests to find and things like that. It is a traditional map. It's not procedural or anything like that, but
Gotcha.
yeah, it's very story driven.
Yeah,
Hey,
But,
demo for Sunbreak.
that is
thought,
cool,
I'm like,
actually.
I'm like, do I want to check that out? I probably will, but I'm like, dude, the game's coming out in like 2 weeks. Do I want to like spoil myself on like Malzeno and shit? But I guess I will, because to be honest, the demos have been like I bet that Malzeno one is gonna be like tough as fucking nuts to beat. They're gonna give you like the shittiest, crappiest gear to beat them with, and you're gonna like all right, you get like 10 minutes to beat this guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be like this.
Yeah, you're gonna have low rank gear for master rank enemies.
Yeah, it's gonna,
Yeah,
be, it's
pretty
gonna be
much.
like a suicide run against the thing.
Here's the thing, though. They're letting you use all the Switch skills. You're gonna get access to all the move sets prior to the release. So this is just basically a big training room for you to test out all the new shit
That's
that you
true.
can just
That's true.
like
yeah.
grind. Sudi Legend is gonna have a field day.
That's true. Yeah, he is. He's gonna have fun making some of those gifts. I already got hired by Guerrilla Games actually to work on Horizon stuff. It's weird.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he actually got hired by Guerrilla. I was like kind of shocked because
Well,
they're in
I
like
mean,
Holland.
Some of that shit is I often wonder how long it takes him to do those. Like, how many times did he fight a fight just to get that perfect shot?
I don't know. And then manipulating the camera like he does.
DB
That's gonna
has
be a
the demo
mod,
listed,
right?
but it's not live yet.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, I think the biggest sort of slight disappointment, just slight, was like, okay, they did technically show some new footage of RE4, but it was just Leon walking around. Like, I wanted to see what the actual combat was like. I want to see Leon roundhouse kick a dude now.
They showed a new
Yeah.
shot of Leon that was pretty much like from the front.
His
As
hair
opposed
looked
to the
kind of
side.
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they showed him standing in the village at the end of the trailer, of the old trailer, with I
No.
guess the new ending, and then they showed him walking up to a house. But you're right; it's like it's like almost like they're intentionally, and I hope it's because they have some cool shit to show. But there's this fear about that. I'm like, well, there's not actually going to be any sort of like finesse or melee stuff. There's not going to be. We're not going back to the whole shoot him in the face, shoot him in the leg, and then do a melee move, knock him down, knife him. Like that gameplay loop will not be present in Remake. It'll be basically just like RE4, or I'm sorry, RE2 Remake, RE3 Remake, where it's kind of like just shoot and move kind of thing. Don't engage things up close.
I can't imagine they would do that. I just can't. Like,
They can't take away the knife gameplay.
I really like. It is my hope that honestly that you're gonna get more going on. You know, like the more crazy melee shit. I am shocked that they just didn't show it here. Like maybe it's just that early, but it's just come out in a year, so I feel like it's still gotta be like
nine months.
Right. Yeah. Like so, it's like it's gotta be pretty fucking close. So, I guess maybe they're just saving it, but yeah, I would definitely be. I mean, like the zombies. My biggest thing is I pray to God the zombies do not have the same like hit, stun, and reaction that they do in RE2 and 3, because the RE4 is such a different kind of a game than that. Right?
Yeah,
like,
and the thing I particularly hated in RE2 remake, and then thinking back, you just reminded me of it, was how there actually was RNG on damage.
Yep.
Like every time it spawned an enemy in game, it RNG'd its life bar, like from the point of it spawning in. And in RE4, there is an actual honest to God like HP bar or whatever for every enemy type. And you know, it's all related to like, you know, yes, there is like particular limb damage, head damage, whatever, right? But like your gun does X amount of damage, it gets better as you upgrade it, right? And then so it's like, you know, certain weapons will just always blow this thing. If you hit someone in the head with like this, their head will just blow off always, you know, or whatever. And then there's like stat modifiers and stuff. Like they're like the initial handgun has a percentage chance of doing a head splat. And then like the Punisher, the one you get for free, that has piercing bullets. But it doesn't have any like particularly like special head popping stats, so it's rare to see that. But they have health bars. You know, they have set amount of health. Every enemy does, and that is a big part of RE4's gameplay because it's designed around that, right? It's designed to like we put this encounter, so we pop these specific enemies here to have, you know, this thing to deal with. RE2. You know, and I talked about this with Andrew a lot. It was like, because there'd be times where like you have like one zombie, and you'll actually be really close to the zombie, and you will hit him square in the fucking head 6 times, like just 6.
Doesn't die.
Well, doesn't die, doesn't have any sort of reaction, just literally just a walking tofu.
Yeah.
For a better comparison, just a walking piece of tofu.
Yeah, and then sometimes
and just does nothing.
Yeah, and then sometimes you'll hit them in a zombie. Oh, like, oh no, more zombies. You shoot them once or twice in the head, and they die immediately. And you're like, what? And for some people, they're like, oh, that's tension. It's you know, you never know what to expect. You know what? And I'm like, kind of, but I'm also kind of like, I feel like there should have been a hard limit. Like if you get to like 5 or something, 4 shots in the head, like it should die no matter what. Like, okay, you can have your RNG life bar, but like 4 clean shots to the head should be just, the game should just, I don't know, programming wise, it should just be like, okay, it's done a 4th headshot, auto death. Like, just drop the health to 0 because like that's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I've heard the game has like a variable difficulty or something, and a lot of it's based on how much ammo that you have. So like, if you don't have a lot of ammo, for example, like shots have a much higher chance of actually doing a critical and like splatting their heads and stuff.
In 2 or in 4?
In 2.
Okay, that's interesting.
So like, and I noticed that because I was playing through it last weekend, and I'm playing through Claire Side B on like the hardest difficulty. So it was like the game's tough as nuts, and I'm like barely scraping by with like bullets and stuff. And I noticed at like one point where I have like barely any ammo, but I have some magnum shots, which are like, I mean, they just do a lot of damage. They definitely aren't guaranteed to get like head splats, but then like the next 4 zombies I killed instantly because I just shoot them one in the time in the head and their head would explode. And I was like, damn, that was lucky. They hadn't had that shit happen before. And then I had the chat server explain to me like, oh yeah, this game has like this, you know, ever changing difficulty based on like how much ammo. So you can like, they're trying to make sure you can't completely fuck yourself, but at the same time, I think they want to add tension to the game. So you're like. So like if you have like an absolutely absurd amount of ammo or something, then sometimes it's just they're gonna make like zombies like randomly like really tanky or something. And it's like
I don't agree with that.
I think that's not an awful idea, but at the same time it is sort of like it can be frustrating when you're just like, dude, what the fuck? Like Because zombies again. This is what I was definitely running into, where I did get kind of frustrated by, where I go through an area, I've cleared out all these zombies, they're all fucking dead. I know they're dead, so I'm running back through, and I go to get some shit, and I run back, and then suddenly there's just a zombie right by the fucking door, immediately attacks me. They just spawned like a new one in there, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's some bullshit game. Like. And because I'm rushing through because I don't expect there to be one, and that shit I don't like. I think that's dumb. Okay, that's just like get fucked, player. That's right. You thought you killed all the zombies, and you did, but we threw another one in there. And
well, I feel like they shouldn't just spawn randomly in the police station. Like they should come through a window, right? Like there should be like an entry point.
Exactly.
And it comes through there and it wanders through there or whatever. And it's like that's why you have to board up stuff or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And this was actually down in the sewer section, though. There was like no windows or anything for anyone to come in from.
Yeah.
So. And I noticed that, like, going back through, holy shit, I will say too, I didn't actually realize that side B by default is actually like generally more difficult than side A. And then playing it on the hardest difficulty, it is, holy shit, like, because you have smaller inventory, enemies are tankier, you take so much more damage. I'm like, dude, I am scraping fucking by. I'm like, this is actually really tough.
Well, the sewers are kind of the weakest part of the game too, and that's where I feel like there's like there's some general wonkiness, I guess is the best way to put it, with because there's these G babies, these big mutant G babies down in the sewers, and you have to run through one end and come back. And like there's some
fat ones.
Yeah, and there's some weirdness to their grab box range and stuff. And because I've seen speedrunners kind of like struggle with that area too, and it's like how the game counts like a hurt, a hit, and a grab and stuff. Sometimes it's a little wonky. It's a little wonky. It definitely doesn't. It feels like it probably could have used another, I don't know, pass or something.
I definitely got to this is where the game, like, especially on the hardest on side B, this is where the game went. I was like, oh fuck, I kind of forgot about this part when I played it the first time, because I played it on side A and it was on normal, so it wasn't that bad. But on the hardest difficulty, that Birkin fight, dude, like when you're just trying to hit him with the fucking crane.
Oh yeah.
Fucking.
Oh my god. Yeah. Fuck off that guy.
You'll either get really lucky with it, or it's just gonna be like you're just gonna lose all your health and bullet inventory.
You have to kite him to one side and hope to God you can reach the other side to push the button.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was times like that where I was like, I actually really wish I had Jill's like dodge ability in RE3.
Exactly, and that's where things get a little clunky, where it's kind of like, okay, these people could definitely like duck and slide and whatever. It's like there's like a little bit of general stiffness that I feel like kind of plays against. That's where you don't want the same game, but like you kind of miss what you could do in RE6 with like all the like dives and like all the crazy mobility you had in that game. And the thing is like the only thing I'll ever say good about RE6 is like there is a lot of really cool things you can do control wise with your character in that game.
Yeah, RE6 compared to the others felt more like Slam Masters, where the others felt like Final Fight.
Yeah. Yes. It's like going from Final Fight 1 to Slam Masters. Yeah. That's the only thing good I can really say about RE6. But yeah, it's like that is the sort of thing where it's like, if we want to take anything, I think we should try to take this, because there's always this weird sort of fear within, I don't know if it comes from developers or what, where they're like, if we give you too much control, things will not be as scary or as tense. We have to like make things tense by limiting your abilities to move. And I'm like, you know what? That's just, I don't know, to me that's just fucking admitting failure there. Like, I can't make something scary and tense if you have too much control over your character. It's like, I don't know.
So I disagree with that, because if you get just a casual player playing an RE game with really good controls and they get spooked and all of a sudden, without thinking, either their right stick or their mouse just jars randomly because they hit it, I'm like, that's a pretty good job of its own right.
Yeah. It's like, because the argument with RE4 original is that it's not scary, right? Like, you have too much control, it's too arcadey. yada yada. And I'm like, well, I've seen people get freaked out at RE4 because they don't like the tension anxiety from being swarmed for them was greater than just, you know, walking through a spooky mansion. Like it's a whole different type of thing.
It's a different type of like scare and dread where it's like, whereas one side, and I'd say like RE2 and RE3 to some extent, I guess, are kind of like that, where there's like the dread of the unknown, where you're like, you don't know around any corner, some motherfucker come out, fucking Mr. X coming stomping up behind you or something.
Yeah.
RE4 gets like it gives you this anxiety because you're like, oh my god, there's so many fuckers, Jesus Christ, oh fucking god damn it. Oh,
you run into the house.
Fucking yeah.
You run into the house to hide, and all of a sudden you hear a chainsaw rev up in the background.
Dude, that shit is like, oh man, I like that already. Like chainsaw sounds already for me, like it gives me an anxiety because I just have to hate that fucking feeling of like, motherfucker, like right behind me, some chainsaw dude's gonna come out and fucking chop me in half, and I'm like, oh fuck, God.
So that brings on the conversation, though. How do you guys feel about the shift from the old way of having Resident Evil games feel like tension and fear to now feeling like stress and terror?
I mean, I really enjoyed Remake, and I really enjoyed RE2 Original, and I really enjoyed RE2 Remake. The thing is, there's a lot of RE games, and for me, it all just boils down to, I don't really care about the fear part or the tension part or anything. For me, it's just, does this play well? Is this paced well? Is this paced well? Is it exciting? Am I intrigued? Do I want to keep playing? And so my RE history is interesting. I didn't play an RE game until Remake on GameCube. I bought it day one on GameCube. I was like, this seems like a great place to start, and I loved it. And then I was like, okay, RE2, what do I do? And I'm like, I have an N64. so I bought the N64 version of it, and I immediately turned it on to analog controls, and I was like, yeah, fuck tank controls. So I didn't play. I mean, I think I bought RE0 later that year, but I didn't actually get through it, or I didn't beat it or anything. And yeah, and I didn't play through 3 or Code Veronica, and then like the next game I played was 4 at that point. So I have a much different thing where it's like I started with Remake, thought it was one of the greatest things ever, and then I played N64, which is still the only version of classic RE2 with analog controls. And the thing is like I never ever once felt extra tension or fear from tank controls. I just felt annoyed. Like it was just general like fucking annoyance. This sucks. Like not having the ability
to just move in place like that.
Yeah.
To get away.
If I could make one criticism of 4, it's the fact that it has tank controls, and I just
don't
like tank controls.
It does. It actually and I didn't even realize that until like way later, and then it was just kind of like, wait a minute, yeah, you're right, it is tank controls. It's just the camera just stays at your back the whole time, so you don't like. I didn't even notice it, but it's 100% true. Like no. If you put if you go in and fuck around with like debug and make static camera angles, no, it's actually tank controls. Like you do that segment in the new mod where like they let you use the fixed camera angles on the Ashley segment. I'm like, oh yeah, it is classic RE, and it sucks.
Right. Yeah, it's I don't really care either way. Like, I think they're doing exactly with RE4 Remake what they did with RE2 and RE3 Remake, where I think it is going to probably be a little less campy, a little less cheesy, which is, I don't think that's a bad thing though. Like, I don't think it should be the exact same game, you know?
Well, yeah, because there's basically two minds about this, and I think Dusk Golem actually he put it really well, where he was just like, would Mikami, if Mikami was somehow able to come back to Capcom and make RE4 Remake himself, right? Do you think he'd make the same game? I'm like, you know what? He wouldn't, because that's not. He Remake 1 was a huge upgrade from the original game that he directed, and then he was brought in on the 5th iteration of RE4, and he basically told them to scrap everything. Like, he's absolutely the kind of guy who would absolutely change it up. So it's not some sort of like you're ruining someone's vision, because I'm pretty sure the original creator would do something different. He would not want to just make the same game again, because he already made it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that, I think that's kind of important thing to remember. But I'm mostly worried that it's going to be like a footnote version of RE4, where it's like it has some iconic locales, not all of them. It's definitely not as long. And then the thing is that like, okay, you can make it scary, but do you have to make it boring? Because like Leon just being like, dour and sad and sort of just like, he doesn't have like Remake 2 is still
RE6
pretty good.
Leon.
Yeah, Remake 2 is pretty
Advent
good. But,
Children Cloud.
yeah, Advent Children Cloud are RE6 Leon. Like, if the antithesis of Leon being too campy is to give him no personality whatsoever, I don't think that's really a good trade off. I don't think that's not an upgrade. That's a downgrade. Like, and I think that's actually kind of the fun thing about RE4 originally was that like Leon at this point he's a trained professional. He's seen this shit before. So if he's, we don't know how he reacts to anyone in RE4 actually yet because they refuse to go past the cabin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't know how
new
it's
footage.
necessarily playing out.
And it's 3 steps longer.
Three
Well,
steps.
there's new footage.
The one
Look, we
shot
did
of the
get-
village.
We did get some new footage, though. I mean, we got a taste that it's just going to be the same dreary colors as 2 and 3 remake.
We got
Hey,
13
there you go.
seconds of new footage.
Yeah, it's like there's a
It's
lot
gonna
of
be it's gonna be dark as fuck.
yeah. Like,
Which
there's a lot
is-
of black and blue on that footage.
Yeah, that's probably one of the big downers for me.
Yeah,
Did you,
I want
did you enjoy the
spookiness
show?
though. It was cool. I'm excited for the demo and stuff like that. I gotta play some more Monster Hunter. I gotta play it on PC so I can catch up.
Yeah,
But-
I gotta.
Oh,
do
did
that.
I'm doing that right now, man.
Did
Holy
you see
crap.
those monsters?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I got. I
Thor
actually got.
Magala's back.
I
Let's
definitely
go.
you
got
gonna get it on
Uh,
PC, Simmons?
I'm gonna get Rise on PC. I need to get Rise on PC and then get ready
Same.
for Sunbreak. I don't know if I'm gonna bother with getting Sunbreak on Switch. Probably not.
No point.
I'm not getting a physical on Switch because it's
Nah.
$70 for a physical that has the content of Rise plus Sunbreak.
Here's
Well,
the
let me
thing.
know because I'm gonna be grinding Rise until Sunbreak comes out.
Here's
Okay,
the
I might
thing.
go.
The only reason to get it on Switch is for the amiibos, and if you can't get the amiibos for the
Yeah.
download costumes,
Yeah. Yeah.
Get download costumes for pre-orders on PC.
no, just like with Magnum Malo and those and that bundle
Oh,
of amiibos,
okay.
there's specific like special costumes,
Yeah.
which is stupid, but whatever.
Is what it is. Yeah, Exoprimal is kind of one of those like
Relevant
need to
with
play.
toys.
Yeah.
The
what'd
one
you-
thing I am noticing right now
That's
is that
looks stupid fun.
It looks stupid fun. We just want to get our hands on it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just I need to play it. I need to like get hands on. I don't. Footage is not enough for me on that one. I need to know what I'm dealing with.
I think the best decision on Exoprimal is after the network test, they don't show it for at least 6 months.
Yeah, I don't think it's coming out anytime soon.
It'll be Q2 next year.
Yeah, it's definitely not gonna be in like spring or January or something.
What's
Yeah.
your opinion on? By the way, Nico, which version are you playing of Resident Evil 2 remake?
I'm playing the PC.
PC? Okay. Today, as of 20 minutes ago, the content update is out that you can download and add for the new gen RE engine
yeah, that's
update
right.
content.
Yeah, doesn't it actually
That's just
up
gonna
your?
affect the consoles though, right? That's not gonna affect like.
No, it's
PS5,
PC and
Xbox One,
consoles.
all that, like
Oh.
the next gen versions of the
Because it
game,
adds
yeah.
ray tracing and HDR visuals and other
Oh.
things that weren't available on the older ones.
That's cool.
Well, the
That's
interesting
Yeah.
thing is that apparently it ups the minimum requirements on PC now.
That's because they upgraded the engine to the current RE engine 1.3.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
dang.
get fucked like
Did
you
you,
know old,
did you
old
finish
PC
Claire's
owners.
story, Nico?
What's that, Al?
Did you finish Claire's?
I didn't. I'm getting there though. It is way fucking harder than I realized it would be on side B and fucking hard difficult on the hardcore
hard?
difficulty. Yeah,
Are you playing
so-
hardcore?
Yeah, I'm
Man.
like, holy shit! Like I'm like barely scraping by, but it's fun.
On your first playthrough?
I played
her.
Claire's side. So technically, I played Leon back when the game released, Leon side A, and I just did that on normal. That was like 3 years ago. So I decided, I was like, all right, well, you know, RE4 got announced. I'll come back and actually check out Claire's side, because I never did. And I play on the hardest difficulty, but I didn't realize that side B by default is already like a harder version. So it's like than side A. Like, so combined with the hard difficulty and the fact that I think, you know, on like the hardcore difficulty, you actually get less inventory space too. I'm like shit, dude, it is tough as nuts. But it's fun. It's fun.
It's a good game. It's a really good game.
Yeah.
I think I played through that a few times actually. So that's the one nice thing about RE2 Remake is that it is feels replayable. Unlike other like RE8 was like great, but I beat it and I'm like, am I gonna go back to the game? Nah.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way too. Like it was fun. I don't know if I necessarily want to like play it a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's
fun,
weird.
though. I went back and just when Resident Evil comes out, I like getting the guns and then just mowing through and feeling like a badass.
Yeah.
So that's what the game was doing. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I dig it.
I might be trying out 8 Gold with that third person view.
Yeah, the third person thing I actually am excited about. I'm like, oh, that actually could be intriguing. I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Question. Do you think they put that in just because they actually had a full model of Ethan and people are just like, well, can we see his damn face now?
I don't know, actually. Like
they added it for the entire purpose of they were doing third person for the Rose content.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it, where they were like already doing... Yeah, because they said Rose was just third person, not first person. So it's probably
yeah, I
like...
It was funny how they've now they had that third person mode now for Ethan, and I mean, it's like people were like, you're paying to see Ethan's face. I'm like, we've already known what he looked like since the game released. People dug that shit out, and like,
yeah,
he's just a dude. He's just a guy.
He's just a super generic MC man.
What does it
You're
look
paying
like?
for non-claustrophobic mode.
How about the fact that the Duke's going to be a bad guy?
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's all mind world
That's
bullshit.
fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I remember I saw that in the trailer. I was like, wait, what? No, dude.
Like,
No,
what?
he's our buddy.
What's he doing? Why he evil?
Yeah, it's all Mind Palace horseshit. So whatever. It's
This is where we need.
Which I like.
Hamill's
It is
Yeah.
just reused locations, because like you see he was going through Lady Demistre's
castle.
Yeah,
I was
her
like,
castle.
okay, so this is how they're going to explain going back through these areas that should not be there, because I think they all got like fucking nuked at the end of the game when all the the military peoples came in and blew shit up like crazy. So I'm like, how do we just like? And they're like, and obviously Capcom was not paying for brand new develop. Like, we're not paying them to make brand new areas, so figure it out. Come up with something.
Mega My Seat rebuilt it all.
That's right.
Oh my
made
god,
of
you
fungus.
figured they'd be done with that, but no, a chunk of it survives.
Well,
Yeah, Rose is the symbiote.
Yeah, Rose is a weird moss baby. So
Probably. She'll be gluing her limbs and shit back on too.
Oh my god.
yeah,
It looks like Rose's content is actually going to be more Silent Hill type stuff. Very psychological.
that's true. That is something they could delve
And
into.
she dives into the mind of whatever the Metamucil or whatever the shit was called.
Metamucil.
Metamucil.
Yeah. The stuff that makes you
Got
regular.
into the
Mucinex.
Pepto-Bismol.
Shit clears my sinuses right up.
So it's like it's all in her head or on her mind palace. Just so there can be supernatural
Look,
bullshit.
it's a drug method. They do it the same way you clean mucus out of your nose. You just put that thing right up to your nose. It's got a water saline solution with a little bit of T-virus in it. It'll be fine. Don't worry.
North
A
that
little
crap right out.
T-virus.
Ah!